What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and in this video I'm discussing HorseMD doesn't make weight for his pro debut. Can he still compete this weekend, and what's next for him? Iain Valliere 4 weeks out of the Vancouver Pro. Lee Priest Physique Update. Martin Fitzwater 8 weeks out looking dangerous. Samson Dauda 315 pounds at his latest check-in. Nathan the Asha Offseason posing update, plus an MLB baseball pitcher switching to Classic Physique this weekend. We've got a physique update from him and who that exactly is. All that plus much more coming from this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. What's up, desktopers? Now, before I get into this one, I want to encourage you guys, if you guys like and appreciate this content, please give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. I've got bodybuilding news, contest coverage, interviews, plus much more. So make sure you do subscribe, and it really helps me out as well. So if you can do that, that would be amazing. But let's get straight into this one. So we'll start with the MLB baseball pitcher. Kyle Farnsworth is his name, who's switching to Classic Physique and competing this weekend at 46 years of age, proving it's never too late to start in bodybuilding, which I think is really, really cool. Many people say that's dangerous, competing late, but it's not like he's a total mass monster. But he is a bigger guy because he is 6'4" almost. He's got a decent amount of muscle on his frame. He's over 100 kilos, I believe. The guy earned over $40 million over his career. Now, I don't know if that's Australian dollars or US dollars, just because I did read that from an Australian article, but he's had a 16-year career, so obviously he's a great player. I don't actually know too much about Major League Baseball. I knew, obviously, the heavy hitters like the Barry Bonds and all that sort of stuff back in the day, but this guy's obviously had a very successful career, and it's cool to see a guy of this caliber in another sport like baseball. It's not like it's an American football or something like that, where we've seen a fair few guys, switch over and gone and done bodybuilding or men's physique or whatever. This guy's actually been a baseball pitcher. He was a skinnier dude during his career as well, being a tall guy, and he's made that switch over and he's looking great. I mean, look at his legs for a guy that's, basically 6'4". He's got some pretty damn impressive legs. And I actually found this clip online when I was looking at some of his tag stuff on Instagram. The dude basically almost starts his fight. So he's pitching. You can see it. Obviously the pitch comes close to this batter who tries to bunt it, goes behind him. And he just goes in, tackles this dude, and basically starts an all-in brawl. So I'd love to get this guy on the channel. I'll reach out to him and try to get him on and find out the reason and the motivation to actually come and compete in bodybuilding, because I think that would be awesome to sort of get his insight, because this dude is obviously a competitor. I believe he actually went and played American football after his baseball career ended. So he sounds like he's just a competitor, and it seems like whatever he does, he just wants to go all in and compete and, really challenge himself, which I think is really, really cool. And I think a lot of bodybuilders can actually take a bit from him, because guys that have been in bodybuilding for many, many years, obviously we know all the PED use and being really, really big for a long time can be unhealthy. And, moving into another sport is actually sometimes a good idea in bodybuilding as well. So maybe some of these guys can take, what Kyle Farnsworth has actually done and apply it to themselves, but moving into another endeavor outside of bodybuilding in some sort of other athletic endeavor. So let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think Kyle Farnsworth will do? And do you think this is good for bodybuilding, seeing more mainstream sports athletes transitioning into bodybuilding? In our next story, we're discussing Martin Fitzwater 8 weeks out of the 2022 Texas Pro. Posted up this video looking absolutely fantastic. He's ready really, really early, and I actually interviewed Martin recently as well. So if you want to go back and check out that interview, I'll put the link to that in the description below as well. So make sure you check that out after this video. And I mean, like I said, he's in condition really, really early. He's been coached by Branch Warren. So not many people know Branch Warren as a coach, but obviously this is going to be sort of his MO, getting people ready early, because that's sort of how Branch was. He seemed to be ready sort of ahead of schedule. And as I suppose it's a smart thing to do, because if anything goes wrong where you get a 2 to 3 week delay or anything like that during your prep, you've still got plenty of time to play catch up, because you're really ahead by 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. So I love to see this. When he turns to the back, he's got the hamstrings and the glutes, they're already coming in or already in pretty much. So I think Martin's going to do very, very well. But conditioning was sort of a thing that people brought up last year, but he wasn't quite conditioned as they'd want to see him. I think he's bringing it this year, because he looks in just as good condition as when he's on stage last year, in my opinion. And he looks like he's added some good muscle as well. He's obviously out there in Texas training with Keon Pearson too. So he's got a great team surrounding him. I think we're going to see the all-time best Martin Fitzwater this year. And honestly, looking at this physique, I think this is a physique that could qualify for the 2022 Mr. Olympia, but I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, how will Martin Fitzwater do in 2022 and will he qualify for that 2022 Mr. Olympia? And next physique update is from a guy who actually might be competing against Martin Fitzwater. He did come out and say if he's going to do another show outside of Vancouver, it's going to be Texas, and that's Iain Valliere. Posted this up on his story. He's looking ready. I mean, he looks pretty much right on track. 4 weeks out, the abs are out. He's looking very, very thick still, and I think Ian's going to bring an all-time best physique this year. Whether he brings that at the Vancouver Pro or if it's going to be at the Olympia a little bit later on, I think that he's going to bring his all-time best at one show this year, because as we've seen several times from Ian, he tends to get better as the season goes on for the most part. Last year, you can debate which physique was the best physique that he brought to the stage, whether you think it was the Texas Pro or the Arnold's or the Olympia, whichever show you think it was. He never seems to get worse. So that's a good sign for Ian. So obviously he'll do this Vancouver. I'd love to see him do Texas as well and go head to head with Martin Fitzwater. But if he doesn't do that, then we'll see him at the Olympia. And I think we'll see him, like I said, bringing his all-time best. But let me know what you think in the comments below about that. Now, Nathan Asha posted up an off-season update. He posted firstly a video of his clients, and I thought this was just a client video at first when I was scrolling past it on Instagram. But when I went to his actual Instagram page, I saw the actual cover photo for this video was him posing. So I actually watched the full thing and then saw there's some posing footage of Nathan Asha, and he's looking pretty damn huge right in his off season, about 6 months out for that 2022 Mr. Olympia. And we haven't seen Nathan Asha in a big show like the Arnold or the Olympia in many years now. So I can't wait to actually see what he looks like and how he matches up at the Mr. Olympia in 2022. He obviously had that bicep injury as well. He seems to have recovered pretty damn well. He's pressing 70s today, 70 kilo dumbbells that is, which is what, 150 to 155, somewhere around that pound dumbbells. So he's obviously got his strength back. He's confident in that bicep, and that gives me a lot more confidence in Nathan Asha going into that 2022 Mr. Olympia. And yeah, I can't wait to see what he actually does this year. Let me know where you think Nathan Asha will place in that 2022 Mr. Olympia, because obviously last year he won his pro show, he qualified, but then he fell a few spots behind the likes of Samson Dauda and a few others. I do know he actually had FIBO, I think, the week prior, and he did say he wasn't eating and wasn't able to train and all that sort of stuff. So I think that might have actually hurt him. So I think we're going to see Nathan Asha bounce back this year and do very well. A fellow Brit who's actually gone back and forth with him a little bit last year, and I'm sure we'll want to get the best of him at the 2022 Mr. Olympia, is Samson Dauda, who was 315 pounds at his latest check-in. There's no photos from that check-in, but the one prior, just 1 week prior, you can see up here on the screen now, that's 310 pounds. So Samson Dauda's put on a considerable amount of weight in 1 year, because last off-season, I remember he's just tipping the scale at, a little bit over 300, 305, I think is what he got up to. So he's an extra 10 pounds on top of that. And he's not looking fat in these recent updates either. So it seems like he's in a gain period right now. And 6 months out of the Olympia, I think he's going to do very well. I think he might shock some people. He obviously shocked people at the Arnold just gone, brought his all-time best by far. And I think we're going to see his all-time best once again at the 2022 Mr. Olympia. Let me know in the comments below, how high do you think Samson Dauda can place at that 2022 Mr. Olympia? Because I'm big raps on Samson, as I am on Nathan as well. But it's going to be an awesome battle of the Brits, and I can't wait to see it go down in just 6 months' time. Now in our last news story, Marcello De Angelis, aka HorseMD, failed to make weight for his contest this weekend in his pro debut. This was posted by Bodybuilders Without Borders. It says, at HorseMD, couldn't make weight for Classic Physique. Update, he still has tomorrow to try to make weight again. Then in brackets, from the horse's mouth. So that's obviously a good little pun there. He said he thought he's 185 centimeters tall, which would be 109 kilogram cutoff. In pounds, that would probably be 235, 240. He said, but he measured at 182 centimeters and 104 kilograms. For his height, the cutoff is 101 kilos. So a full 8 kilos less compared to what he thought he'd actually get in terms of his cutoff weight. And that in pounds is what, like 17, 18 pounds? So a huge amount of difference. And basically he's 6.6 pounds over right now, or 3 kilos. So he's got a bit to make up. I'm sure he'll actually suffer down and try to make that. If not, will we see him move into the open class at this show? Because the open lineup actually isn't that big as well, so he might actually be able to collect some Olympia points. And potentially, I haven't actually even looked at many of these guys, potentially maybe even a win, I'm not too sure. But HorseMD's obviously had a pretty rough couple of weeks. He was sick, he was in hospital, he's gotten out, and as you can see by these physique updates, he's still looking pretty damn good, and probably is a favorite to win that Classic Physique as well if he can make the weight. But we'll have to wait and see if he actually does. I'll try to keep you guys updated. I'll release another bodybuilding news video tomorrow, and I'll update you to basically tell you guys if he made weight or not. But let me know what you think in the comments below about all these topics discussed in this video. And guys, make sure you head to hdmuscle.com, enter the code DESKTOP. That'll save you 10% off your entire order. If there is discounts on supplements on there already, you'll get an additional 10% off as well. They've got apparel, they've got stim-free pre-workout, they've got stim pre-workout, they've got kidney and liver support supplements, they've got grass-fed whey, they've got a whole ton of great supplements, intra, all that good stuff. So make sure you check them out. They've got full transparent ingredients lists as well, so they're products you can actually trust. So that's it for this video. For Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.